Jiggly-Gut here, and welcome back to Broken Sword, Shadow of the Templars, the director's cut. The last time we visited a museum and found the tripod that was depicted on the ancient manuscript, and discovered that it was found in a quaint little area known as Loch Marn in Ireland. So we went to the airport, we took a trip over this way, and once we got off the bus, we talked to some of the local colour and got a little bit of information here and there. We grabbed ourselves a bar mat, which was in a new place. We grabbed ourselves some wire from this sneezing character in the corner. And yeah, there's this dude with a violin that I swear wasn't in the original either. Anyways, now that we've got wire and a bar mat, we're going to head on back outside, and I think we'll hit up Maguire again real quick.
Hey, Maguire.
What?
What do you make of this, kid?
Hey, that's one of Leary's towels. He'll skin you alive.
That old windbag doesn't scare me. Anyhow, I'm only borrowing it.
You're pretty cool, mister. For an old guy.
What do you think this wire could be used for?
Stealing cars. There's only one problem.
The local policeman?
No. Nobody in Loch Marn has got a car.
Yeah, I kind of noticed. Okay.
Do you know anything about Peagram's Dig?
He wouldn't let me anywhere near it. I offered to help, but he chased me off. I didn't want to see his smelly old hole anyhow.
Did anyone from the village work at the dig?
Pegram brought some students and bums with him. He reckoned no one in Loch Marn would know what to look for. The only local guy who worked for him was Sean Fitzgerald.
Fitzgerald says he's never been anywhere near the dig.
He's having you on, mister.
Okay, thank you for that, Maguire.
See you later, kid.
Okay, mister.
Okay, let's take a look over here.
It was a featureless plastic box firmly attached to the wall of the building. I tugged at the plastic cover, but it didn't move. It was a trap door in the sidewalk. I tugged at the trap door, but it was locked from the inside.
So let's go back and question Fitzgerald.
Mr. Fitzgerald? What do you suppose this wire is used for?
How should I know?
Maguire says he saw you working at the dig. What's more, he saw you talking with Pegram.
I knew this would happen. I knew I'd get caught.
I need to talk to Professor Pegram, if he's still alive.
What do you mean? Is he in danger?
Yeah, you too, if I'm right.
You're not from the Social Security.
Hell no. What makes you think that?
Well, I was claiming benefit at the same time I was working for Pegram.
I'm not in a position to make judgments, Sean. That's between you and your conscience. All I want is to talk to Pegram about the gem.
But he's not here.
I know that. But he left that package with you, didn't he? So where did Pegram go?
I don't know. I swear it. He came to see me early this morning. Said he was leaving. He asked me to give this package to a guy called Marquet.
Show me what's in the package, Sean.
I can't do that.
Why not?
I promised the professor.
So what? You didn't have any qualms about your benefit scam. So where's the harm in taking a peek inside Pegram's package?
You don't know these people. I can't. I don't dare.
This is your last chance to show me the package, Fitzgerald. I've been patient with you, but now it's time to kick ass.
But he'll kill me.
Who will?
The man from Paris. Jack Marquet. Pegram told me if I gave him the package unopened, I'd hear no more about it. But if I double-crossed Marquet, I'd be dead.
I'll deal with Jacques Marquet. Give the package to me.
No. Why should I trust you? I don't know who to trust anymore. I wish I'd never even heard of the Lochmarn gem. Hey, I just seen a big red...
Get out of here, Maguire. Come back when you're old enough.
What's the lad howling about?
A big red sports car. Sean Fitzgerald's been runned over.
Get out! Noisy little tyke.
Maybe you should send out some medicinal brandy maker.
Oh, yes. And who's going to pay for it?
Not me.
Me too, neither.
Okay. So let's head on out.
I was telling the truth about Fitzy, mister.
Okay, calm down. Now tell me what happened.
I was standing here, minding me own business, when I saw this beautiful red sports car coming up over the hill. Would you look at that, says I, and I going over to take a closer look. Next thing, Fitzy comes tearing out of the pub and nearly knocks me on my ass, but the car just flies at him. It was too fast for poor old Fitzy, and hit him an awful wallop. He goes flying up on top. Jesus, says I thought he was a goner. Next thing, the driver hops out, and I couldn't believe my eyes. He was dressed like a bloody pixie.
Oh dear.
Hey, Maguire,
What?
did this pixie have a scar on his cheek?
I couldn't see. He was wearing a stupid mask. Are you a special agent?
Sorry to disappoint you, kid, but I'm not. Did Fitzgerald drop anything when he was hit?
I didn't see. It all happened so fast.
Maybe the package fell somewhere out of sight. See you later, kid.
Okay.
Okay. So now the inner workings of this plastic cover are revealed to us.
The plastic cover had been smashed and broken away, revealing a switch. I pushed the switch down, but in doing so it snapped off in my hand. It was impossible to return the switch to its original position. He wasn't listening. Excuse me,
Yes, sir?
does this piece of wire mean anything to you?
No, it doesn't.
Check out my card.
I've seen it, for heaven's sake.
May I have another beer, please?
Certainly, sir. Same again?
Yeah, please. How is this stuff made?
That's the secret of the master brewer, sir. Each barrel is lovingly manhandled in time-honoured fashion, suspended on skillfully tied ropes of the finest hemp, lowered into the cellar, utilising the forces of original gravity, like manna from heaven. I'm sorry, but the pump appears to be broken.
I could fix it for you.
I don't think so. This is a job for a professional electrician. Oh, well, at least the glass washer is still working. It's not my dear, is it?
That's what we did with the cover outside. We fucked with the pump and the electricity. Luckily, we have Khan's, Merlin's, the Pixies fucking card
It
here.
just so happens I'm an electrician. Check out my credentials.
Well, now, isn't that marvellous? Here's a house bedevilled with faulty wiring of a wayward nature. Here's you, an electric man, with a little plastic card to prove it. I still want to see what you can do before I let you touch me beer pumps. You can make a start on the glass washer. When you finish that, will you take a look at the pumps?
Okay.
It was an electric glass washer. It looked even older than the barman. It was an electrical plug attached to the glass washer. I couldn't see anything obviously wrong with the machine. I figured it must be the wiring. I used all my knowledge of electrical engineering to examine the plug.
Now let's try the wire.
I replaced the fuse with a piece of wire. I knew it was dangerous, but I was desperate enough to disregard everything I knew about standard safety precautions. Excuse me, Mr. Leary. I fixed your glass washer, no problem.
Bingo! And a blessing to all the saints. A free half-pint to that man, on the house. Now, could you take a look at the beer pumps?
Well, I guess so, but I'm not making any promises.
If you can't fix them, I'll have a riot on me hands.
The pumps are in the cellar, right?
That's right. You'll find a flashlight down there somewhere.
Okie dokie. Down into the bowels of O'Leary's tavern.
It was the lever which locked the trap door.
Well, we're going to have to pop that.
I pushed the lever and heard the grating of metal, but nothing appeared to happen.
So we'll have to go back upstairs and pull it open.
I lifted the trap door, and an overpowering smell of stale beer rose from the cellar below. I looked down on a stone-tiled floor, way too far to jump.
Excuse me.
There was a nasty feeling in my guts I usually associated with light opera. It was Khan. What's the problem?
Did you see what happened here a few minutes ago?
What was that?
A man was involved in an unfortunate accident.
I didn't see anything.
What about the boy?
He doesn't know anything either. The kid, well, you know how it is in these rural communities. Not enough genes to go round. I prayed McGuire had the sense to keep his mouth shut. Was the guy hurt bad?
He's been taken care of, but he thinks he dropped a small parcel. You didn't happen to find it, did you?
If I had, I would have taken it to the police.
Of course. Thank you.
Well, that was unpleasant.
Hey, McGuire.
What?
See you later, kid.
Okay, mister.
Okay, so we can't warn McGuire about Khan. But
Now I could see. I spotted Mr. Leary's flashlight easily. Then I noticed a flash of light. Something sparkling beneath the open trap door.
oh, would you look at that?
It was Peagram's gem, all right. A large, uncut blue stone. I guess I was already under its spell.
Did you find it?
What?
Whatever you was looking for.
Yeah. Listen, McGuire. I want you to keep this to yourself.
No problemo. Just chuck us up a crate of lager.
No way. You're not old enough.
We can sell it and make some cash.
Forget it, kid. I couldn't betray Mr. Leary's trust.
I could, for sure. That old misery guts deserves it.
If you want to do me a favor, keep a lookout for that guy in the suit.
Okay. But it'll cost you a packet of chips.
Oh, and shout if you see that Ferrari.
So what we got here is a dripping faucet.
It was a rusty faucet.
Now, we don't want to screw around with that just yet. Instead, we want to head up to the castle on the hill
The gates were made of solid, age-blackened wood. Pushing with all my strength got me nowhere. They didn't budge. I really need to start working out.
So we can't use the manhole tool to pry the lock off. So now we're going to talk to this fellow.
The farmer's craggy face was set in a mask of aesthetic appreciation. His feet were set in a pair of manure-caked boots.
Hi, do you speak English?
Well, no, what if I was to say no? An implication of cognizance shrouded in denial. A pretty poser of a paradox indeed.
I gave him the look I'd perfected when I was 12 and was going to be the greatest hypnotist of all time. It was a killer.
Are you attempting to hypnotize me, or is it the constipation you're suffering?
I was a little out of practice. Does this tool mean anything to you?
No, it doesn't. Is it used on sheep?
No, it's for lifting the covers off drains.
Never. How?
Well, the end of the tool fits into the hole in the cover.
They'd slip out. Angles are wrong. You'd never do it.
I have. I did it in Paris. Do you recognize the man in this photograph?
No, but I wouldn't trust him. His eyes are too close together.
Does this false nose mean anything to you?
You're a circus clown.
Close enough.
What do you make of this tissue?
That's a sorry sight to wave about in public.
Would you like to shake my hand?
What is this? I don't do that male bonding stuff.
Have you any use for this towel?
Whatever gave you that idea? Oh dear me, no.
What do you make of this matchbook?
Seems ordinary enough to me.
Do you recognize the name on this card?
I can't read that little writing.
What do you think of my flashlight?
Those electric lamps. I was given one for my birthday, but it stopped working after a month.
Well, the battery was probably drained.
What? Nobody told me. I threw it away.
This is the gem that Pegram found in the castle.
So that's what all the fuss was about. I can't see why myself. Why men would fight and steal and kill over a little bauble like that.
Well, it's kind of neat the way it sparkles. What can you tell me about the castle?
Not much, I'm sorry to say. Most of its history is long forgotten. Ah, but if these old stones could only speak, what stories they'd tell. Stories to make your toes curl and your blood run cold. You know, this castle is said to be over 600 years old.
You don't say.
Have you seen Professor Pegram?
No, he's packed up and gone.
Do you happen to know where?
Back in England, I suppose.
Did you happen to see a red sports car down on the road?
I caught a glimpse of a flash of red on the hill and heard the racket. Sure, it was an awful noise. A sports car, you say?
A Ferrari, to be exact.
A racing car? And what was it doing here? The poor fella must have been lost.
Yeah, in the arsehole of nowhere.
The driver of the Ferrari was involved in an accident.
Is that so?
Yeah, he knocked somebody down outside the bar.
What an idiot! How could a thing like that happen?
He was traveling too fast.
So fast, he ran right under the car?
I mean, the car was traveling too fast.
But you'd have thought the idiot could have heard it coming.
Maybe you know the guy who was hit by the Ferrari. His name is Sean Fitzgerald.
Oh, I know him all right. That's me nephew, the idiot responsible for the stacking of my hay cart. Was he killed by the car?
Oh, no, but he has been abducted.
Well, that's a relief now.
Aren't you going to look for your nephew?
What for? From what you say, it's too late.
Well, you could report the matter to the police.
Better not. Besides, what could they do?
Well, they could mount a search.
They have only the one bicycle between them. In a question of superior acceleration, I put me money on the Ferrari.
I think you ought to know exactly what Sean has gotten himself into.
I'm not sure I want to know.
But you're his uncle, his own flesh and blood.
You're right, but what can I do? If I'm not here to guard it, some idiot might try to climb the haystack. What a moral dilemma. Stay here and guard this potentially lethal agricultural construction, or to go off in search of the prodigal nephew, the very man responsible for said hazard? It'll need some thinking about.
Why, there's no problem.
You're right. Why didn't I think of it before? We'll demolish the haystack.
You don't have to demolish the haystack to go look for Sean. I'll stay here in your place and warn anyone who's silly enough to climb it.
Marvellous! I think I should start me inquiries in the bar.
Ah, you do that. While you're
I
at it...
strode off in the direction of McDevitt's bar, leaving me to contemplate the stack of hay.
And while you're at it, go get yourself a tractor. Okay, so now we can climb up the haystacks. Now that that clown's
The
out of
stack
the
of
way.
hay stopped, short of the top of the wall. Even if I stretched as far as I could, the wall was out of reach. What I needed was a slice or two of Alice's Wonderland. There was a narrow crack between two of the stones where the centuries-old mortar had crumbled away.
Oh, a crack or two, you say? Well, that's a good thing we've still got this from Paris.
I inserted the end of the lifting key in the mortarless crack and gave it a firm shove. It remained lodged in the wall, jutting out to form a step.
So, our next destination is down there. But we arrive at the place that has stumped many a player in the past, and it's what stumped me for ages as well, back when I first played this fucking game. You see, as soon as we try to approach... this goat gets all nasty and rams us. Now over here...
It was a rusted piece of iron, maybe part of a plow or something.
So we'll try and go to that instead, and... we can move it.
The rope by which the goat was tethered had become tangled on the old plowshare.
No way! They've made it easier, just like the fucking bar towel. Originally, you'd come over here to try and move it and the goat would chase you away again. What you'd have to do is you'd go and approach the fucking ladder there. The goat would rush at you and knock you down, and you had to quickly click on the plow and run over and move it and get the goat tangled. But not anymore. Yeah, so they've made it very simple. Wow. Well, I'll be. So here we are down here. I don't seem to remember this statue. I think this might be new.
It was a statue which had fallen from its place on the wall. 5 fingers of stone projected from the back of the carving. It was a statue which had fallen from its place on the wall. 5 fingers of stone projected from the back of the carving. The statue was too heavy to lift. It overbalanced into the sand.
Oh yeah, no, it's not new. This was here originally. What we want to do now is pick it up, and it's left a little divot in the ground.
As I swung the stone upright, I noticed it had left a pattern of holes in the sand. The 5 fingers on the back of the statue had left their impressions in the fine sand. There was a pattern of 5 holes arranged on the wall. They'd been drilled there deliberately. I placed my fingers and thumb into the holes in the wall. Nothing happened. Behind the altar was a carved panel decorated with animals, birds, and plants. I tried in vain to move the panel.
And over here we have...
The sack contained a fine white powder. As I dipped my fingers into the soft white powder, I realized what it was. Plaster of Paris. I'd used it in kindergarten to make casts of animal paw prints.
So you can see where this is going now. We want to take the powder and pop it in the hole here. Or do we have to examine that first? There we go. Grab the powder and pop it in the hole.
I sprinkled the plaster on the sand until the holes were filled.
And now we want to go back up the ladder. Wow, I can't believe that they changed that as well. Oh, shit. So down we go. And we want to head back down to the main street and into the bar. And we're going to head down to the cellar. Now we can look at this.
The faucet creaked, coughed, and spewed out a stream of rusty-colored water.
And what we want to do is take the bar mat and dunk it in.
I held the towel under the faucet and soaked it with water. I shut off the faucet as tight as I could, but it kept on dripping.
And now we want to go back to the castle. Well, the bar mat, the soaked bar mat, is our source of water. And if we don't use it quick enough, it'll dry out, which is why I left it until now. And now we know where it goes. We can bring it straight to where we've got the plaster set up and use it here.
The trickle of water was quickly absorbed by the plaster. My improvised plaster cast was slowly drying out. I eased the solid piece of plaster from the sand. Underneath, it had formed a perfect copy of the statue.
And now we use our plaster cast on the wall.
The hardened plaster cast fitted snugly into the 5 matching sockets. There was a soft thud, then silence.
Okay, in we go. Ooh. So we're back here with Nico again. Some new material. Can we use the phone?
There wasn't anyone.
Anything on the... Ah, we got a message on the answering machine.
I had messages waiting to be played.
You have 3 messages.
Hey, Collard, it's me, your favorite editor. Guess what? I'm gonna give you a second chance. I need somebody to write the TV column. Pays lousy, so what's new? If you're interested, drop by the office. In fact, drop by the office anyway. We have to talk, Nico. That story of yours I spiked. It won't go away. You've made some dangerous enemies out there.
Hey, Nico, it's your old pal. I mean, your new pal, George. Whoa, Ireland. It's a whole different country. And I got some amazing news for you. Gem of a story, in fact. Oh, gotta go. Yeah, fella here's got a drink lined up for me. See you tomorrow, Nico. Sláinte. Yep, only here for a day and I'm speaking the lingo like a local.
Mademoiselle Coulard, this is Imelda Carchon. I wanted to thank you for being so understanding when... Come to lunch, why don't you? Tomorrow. I might have more news. There's a Monsieur Merlon coming to see me this evening. He says he knows why Pierre was murdered. In fact, he'll be here shortly. I shall let you know what he says. Goodbye, dear girl. Till tomorrow.
Merlin? Oh my God. Merlin's the killer. I'd better get over there and mourn her now. When it came to being two-faced, Imelda was up there with the best. I owed her nothing, but I couldn't just let her die.
Oh dear.
I arrived to find the Palais Royal courtyard deserted. I only hoped that I'd beaten the assassin here. I had to warn Imelda before it was too late.
Well, I can already see our way in. I'm guessing that we're not going to be able to get through the front door. But I'm going to try it anyways.
Front door. There was a fresh scratch on the paint. The kind that's left when someone's picked the lock. If I was right, Imelda was getting a lesson from a mime artist. And it wasn't the old moving staircase routine. A doorbell. The intercom system wasn't working. Bad sign. Somebody had cut the wire.
The door's locked.
Locked? No way was I going to break through a door like that.
Okay, time to use this tacky art sculpture here to go up to the second floor, I'd say.
Just your average modern art retaining wire.
But I'm gonna guess that we've got to get it close to the ledge.
It was held in place by wires. Maybe it wasn't art after all. Maybe it was a cell phone transmitter. People say, what's the point of modern art? I say, isn't it obvious?
No, not really.
Fixed tight. Presumably to stop critics stealing it. Who else would want to?
Okay, do we have anything in the bag that we can use? Let's try our trusty shell casing. Okay, what about our trusty hairpin? Very much doubt that the keys will do anything. What about the cylinder? Yeah. Something tells me we're going to have to find a tool to cut those wires. And we're probably not going to find them here. The tool, I mean. But then again, we are already here, so... take another look at the wires. Aha!
I unhooked the first wire.
So we can just unhook them.
I released the second wire. Even with both wires removed, the statue remained upright.
So then, let's give it a nudge. Aha!
If I could deconstruct this, I could deconstruct anything.
Okay, up we go.
The window had been repaired with industrial plastic sheeting. The plastic sheet was thick and strong. I'd need more than my hands to tear it.
What, like a shell casing with a serrated edge?
The shell case had been flattened at one end, forming a serrated edge.
Let's use that. It's about as handy as that manhole cover. Tool lifting thing. In we go. Now, anything new in here? Doesn't appear to be anything. Into the next room. Anything over this way? Yeah, I think we're going into Pierre's study.
My God, I'm too late.
Oh.
Imelda. Oh no.
Nico?
Don't worry, you're going to be all right.
You know that isn't true.
It was Merlin, wasn't it?
Dressed as a cavalier. How absurd. You came to warn me, didn't you?
I must be crazy.
Let me see you, Nico.
All this time you were just using me. Which one is the real Imelda?
You are an extraordinary girl. Thierry would have been so proud of you.
You didn't know my father.
So like him. Something about the eyes. I wish we'd had time to get to know each other.
She was gone. She cheated me, lied to me, used me. But why?
Okay, let's turn the light on. We know there's a switch, at least. Okay, we can't access that. What about the fireplace?
A beautiful fireplace. Though I doubt the Carchons used to cuddle up in front of it with a TV dinner. Climbing up the fireplace would be futile. The Carchons in happier days. Well, before they were both assassinated, at least.
Anything else around here? Let's take a look at the body.
Even in death, Imelda looked the same. Beautiful, inscrutable. The Ice Queen alone in her ice palace.
What about the pendant?
Around her neck was a locket. I opened it. Inside was a tiny gold key.
I wonder if that goes to a chest in the room.
I took the key. I had to leave. I knew I could never return.
Okay, let's check out the trunk and get that chest. Something tells me that we've finally got a key that fits.
In the dim light, I caught the reflection of something metallic. A small, sinister-looking metal disc had been tucked under my father's box. It was a bug. Oh, chère cousine. You left me a little present. You shouldn't have. You don't scare me. Espèce de...
Okay, let's take a look at this box.
The box was carved by my father. It never had a key. The elephant on the lid was a perfect match to Carchon's.
And Carchon's wife had this.
It was the key from Imelda's locket.
Something tells me that...
I took out the key.
Aha!
I couldn't believe it. Imelda's key opened my father's box. I dreaded what I was going to find inside.
Oh, someone else in their photograph. Imelda.
It was a photograph of Imelda. But why here? In my father's box? I felt as if a black hole had swallowed me up. Imelda and Carchon grinning, while behind them a village was being razed to the ground, its people butchered. And there, next to them, staring out at me across the years, my own father.
He's not smiling,
There was
though.
a letter. I feared there was even worse to come.
Oh dear.
Hotel Saint-Georges, Algiers, Friday. My darling Thierry, by the time you read this, you'll be safely out of Africa. You need not fear. Pierre and the organization do not know who you're really working for, or about us. Did you think I would betray you? I could not. You wanted me to leave him, but I don't have your courage. I know too much of what has been going on here. They would find me and they would kill us both. Enjoy your life in Paris, Thierry. Your life of honor, of patriotic duty. Do they give medals to spies? No, they'll just give you a phony job in an embassy somewhere. I could never share that with you. Imagine me, a diplomat's wife. So I must stay here with Pierre, the two of us bound together by what we have done to this country. Au revoir, my love. You will be in my heart until I die. Imelda. Suddenly everything made sense. My father had been working undercover for the government. He was one of the good guys after all. He and Imelda must have fallen in love. She'd found out who he really was, so he had to leave. It had broken her heart, but she had never revealed it to anyone. I knew I couldn't either. Whatever he was doing, he'd had good reason to keep it secret. I decided I would respect that and tell nobody.
So a little bit of closure there for Nico, that's good. The next morning.
I knew it was George. For a moment I was tempted to pretend that I was out, or ask him to go away and come back later. But then... Come in.
Hello, George. So, where did you stay last night?
At McDevitt's. I got to drinking with Doyle and a couple of the guys.
That explains why you look so ill today. Did you get any sleep at all?
Not much. I had to share the room with another guy.
Did he snore?
Hardly. He was dead.
And you say Pigram has disappeared?
Without a trace. But my visit wasn't a complete waste of time.
Pigram's gem?
The Templar's gem. Whoever Jacques Marquet is, he's in for a disappointment.
Jacques Marquet?
He's the guy who should have collected the gem from Fitzgerald.
What are your plans?
I want to find out who, what, or where Montfaucon was. All I've got to go by is the name and a picture of a hanged man. Look, Nico, a handful of plaster.
Yeah. Why is it that men never really grow up?
What's your problem, sister?
Your pockets stuffed with useless junk like little boys.
You never know when useless junk might come in handy.
Hey, your pockets are no better, Nico.
Maybe not. Do you want to look after the gem?
No, George. I'd be too tempted to sell it.
Let's take another look at the manuscript.
So we got the gem and we know where the tripod is.
There's a guy with a sword and a bull. Between them is a gem supported by a tripod. A knight with a crystal ball. The knight's scroll bears a phrase in Latin, Through my teachings, you will be enlightened. There's a guy working on a loom. There's a woman looking at her reflection in a mirror, but the reflection has 3 hideous faces.
Look there, 2 guys on the same horse.
What are your plans?
I want to find out who, what, or where Montfaucon was. All I've got to go by is the name and a picture of a hanged man.
Well, that's all she wrote there.
I can't sit here all day, much as I'd like to.
Okay. Don't forget to look for Lobinot at the Kron Museum. And why don't you see if Rosso has heard anything?
Okay. Anything else I can do for you while I'm out? Shopping, a trip to the laundromat?
Just take care of yourself.
Okie dokie. Off we go. Once more, back out into the cold.
I so much wanted to talk to George about everything that had happened, but I knew I never could. My father's connection to Africa would have to remain a secret forever. His bravery would be known only to the government and to me. Revealing it would just damage his memory. People would take the story and twist it. Before long, he would be the villain and Carchon would be the hero. I know how they do that. I'm a journalist.
Okay, well, we'll leave that here for now. Next time, we're going to travel on back to the museum and try and catch up with Lobinot. We'll also go and see Rosso first before we go to the museum. And I believe we're all done and dusted with Ireland. We can't go back there, unfortunately. Actually, there's nothing unfortunate about it. Good riddance. Anyways, this has been Jiggly-Gut with Broken Sword, Shadow of the Templars, the Director's Cut. And I will see you next time. Peace out.